What's
What
good,
up?
bro? What's
I'm
good?
chilling. What's good?
It's been a week.
Mhm.
It's been a week, man. It's been a
Yeah.
week. What's good with
What's
you?
up?
Hey, man.
Yo, ain't nothing,
Yeah.
man. Freaking shoulder hurt.
What
I
you
don't
doing,
even know
man?
why.
You playing ball? You was dunking on somebody? I mean, you was on the New York Giants practice field. You about to go to the league? What's up?
Nah, this is probably sleeping on it, but it's been hurting for like 2 weeks. I went to the
Ah,
doctor today, man. Told him to look at it, man. Did a little X-ray. Gonna go take a little like MRI thing probably in another week or so, man. I don't know. It's not like excruciating pain like that, but it's just like I could feel it, and it like it doesn't hurt. Like I could do this, so it's not like that type of like type of pain like that. It's just that though, like when I move it, I could feel it. Like I could feel the pain running in the hair when I do it.
mm,
You know what I'm saying?
mm.
So I'm gonna just go get it looked at, see what. Hopefully I ain't messed nothing up.
Blessings, man. Hope all is well. Calvin, Pops, Fisher. That's my pops right there. What's good with you? Gene, how you
What's up,
doing? How you doing? Hello,
Regine?
hello. It's good to see you all. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I'm first gonna ask how your week been outside of your shoulder, and then I'm jumping right in, man, to last
Yo,
week.
I've been
So,
good.
you been good?
I've been good. Yeah, it's been a chill week.
You didn't go you didn't go to like Hawaii or nothing, or you didn't fly to
Nah,
Minnesota?
man. I told you I'm chilling. Might run down to DC. I'm thinking about running down to DC in a week or so, man, to catch the Knicks. The Knicks played down there on like a Friday, and I think the 24th, and then they got that CIAA tournament down there in
Oh, we can talk about
Baltimore.
the CIAA now. You know that's
Yeah,
my girl, man.
the
Yeah.
tournament is in Baltimore, but
That same weekend for
I
the
think
game?
it's the same weekend. Yeah, the Knicks are playing in DC on Friday the 24th.
Okay,
And I think the basketball tournament is in Baltimore
okay,
on that weekend.
okay,
So it's not in DC. The tournament is in Baltimore, but if you're gonna be down there in that area, same proximity.
okay.
You know what I mean?
Um, yeah. I'll probably be down there. I haven't done CIAA since it left Charlotte. You know what I mean? Um,
Yeah, yeah.
and I'm not mad at that it's in Baltimore. I'm not really mad about it. You know what I mean? But I mean, the reality is like just a lot more schools are sort of down this way, but people gonna go where the vibe is at. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, So I mean, outside of that, man, yeah, my week was my week was crazy. Like this whole week, like Friday, like starting like Friday, man, like one of my homies, man, unfortunately, man, his son got killed out here, so they had a vigil for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then dealing with that, and then there was just a bunch of other stuff that happened, and so like, man, I just really went into like heavy meditation and prayer, bro. You know what I'm saying? Heavy meditation, but
Yeah.
I'm not saying like everything was like my whole weekend was bad. No, it was nothing like that. It was just all that stuff was happening. I had to like take a deep breath, go boom, let's bounce back. I'm trying to get on my walking kick. Yo, I haven't walked, bro. I'm messing up, bro. I ain't messed up. I'm messing up. Tempest, how you doing? Yeah,
What's up, Tempest?
I'm definitely messing up. I can't even I
Yeah,
can't
I need to get a little exercise regimen in my life too also.
or some running, some
Yeah, I'll
boxing.
be
Didn't you
playing
box?
around.
Didn't you box before? Wasn't you in the boxing?
Nah,
Nah. Oh,
uh-uh. Uh, yeah.
I just figured. I don't know, bro. I don't know. Yo, did you see the picture that went up on Facebook with all of us? The one that I threw up
Yeah,
um
yeah, 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 yeah.
party, and did you see some of the comments, man?
Nah,
People funny, bro. People funny. Like Mike was basically saying, like, yo, we all over 6 feet. Like, yo, like, what's up, Dad? What's up, boss? Like, yo, get out of here. You know what I mean? And I was looking there. I was like, yo, everybody there is tall. So I thought Dre was like 6'1", 6'2". You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Kickboxing, that's a goodie. You know. but he said he 5'11".
Oh, okay, yeah.
I don't know why I thought Dre was taller than that all these years, man. He says, because of basketball, whatever, you know,
I
So
told
yeah,
Jay, give me some Beyonce concert tickets.
yo, if he knowing him, he might be able to get him. He's he's a unique
Yeah,
guy.
no, he was saying something about that. He was saying something about that, but he was saying how he wouldn't be interested in going. I said, yeah,
Okay.
give me those tickets.
Oh, yeah, give him up, right? Yeah. Nah, man. But did you peep when LeBron broke that record the other day?
Yeah, because I was watching that game because LeBron and them cost me my bet. I lost my 4 pick because I needed the Lakers to win. I
Mm,
had the Lakers winning head up. I was like, yo, he gonna probably break the record. And
mm.
they was playing home against Oklahoma, and these bums lost, man. So I was ready to, I did. I'm glad to see, yo, he broke the record, man. It's a lot of debate. I see a lot of debate go
Yeah.
back
Do
and
you
forth
think
about
that
stuff
makes him
like
the
that.
greatest?
Nah, because obviously you got to be good to score that many points, but you also have to have a certain level of longevity. So you could start making arguments like, okay, you scored more points than me, but who did it in more games? Who did it in more seasons? Who did it against a better competition? Who did it when there wasn't a 3-point line? So you got to figure, man, everyone today, the 3-point line, I think, been in since like the 70s or whatever. So you got to think about all of them years some of these people played where they didn't even have an opportunity to shoot a 3-point. So the dynamics of it is different a little bit. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? And so you could have that debate endlessly, especially when you debate in numbers, man, because
Right.
you can make numbers say whatever you want them to say, depending on the perspective you're looking at them.
Right.
But I think that, it was definitely a great accomplishment. I
Right.
think that people that love LeBron right now in this era that think he's the greatest, they're looking
Right.
at individual accomplishments. I think
Right.
people more like from my era, I
Yeah.
think what they give I think the people from my era, why they give Jordan the edge is because we lived through a person in the NBA who basically was unbeatable. Like, just forget record wise, like, you just couldn't beat him. Like, LeBron is a great player, 100% great player. Deserves everything he's getting on and off the court, because I respect how he carry himself off the court also. But
Mm-hmm.
LeBron, during his reign right now, has been beatable. You
Mm-hmm.
understand what I'm saying? He's been beatable. He's like not went to the playoffs and stuff like that. And I'm not blaming him. I'm just saying
Mm-hmm.
that he's been to championships, he's lost. He's been on teams for a variety of reasons. He hasn't made it to the playoffs. We did not witness a Jordan that could be beat. You understand what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So that is the difference why our era, forget numbers and statistics. You're talking about the greatest or who's the most dominant player. Everyone's gonna have their opinion, but I'm saying I feel like that's why I kind of sway towards Jordan. Forget numbers and who scored the most and who had the
Mm-hmm.
highest, scoring league average and stuff like that. I'm saying that, to me, it was like you just could not beat Michael Jordan. Like, nobody could beat him. And he played, and Michael Jordan played in an era where a lot of the top players in NBA history come from that era. The top 50 greatest, top 75, top 100 greatest NBA players ever. You look at the era that a lot of them come from. So, but like I said, I think it just goes back to, with a lot of people, man. It's just like, I'm a Knicks fan, still a Knicks fan to this day, man. But, like literally, I couldn't even appreciate the greatness of Michael Jordan because, like, yo, he always stopped us. You know what I'm saying? Like, you forget the Reggie Miller performances and all of that. It was like, yo, we could never get past him. So, like, I grew up hating Jordan. Couldn't even appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I've
Right.
never owned a pair of Air Jordans ever.
Never.
Never even owned a pair of Air Jordans, man,
Did you?
in my life.
Reggie Miller used to do us dirty.
Yeah,
You get what I'm
but I'm
saying?
also a person too. In all honesty, I don't wear no other teams paraphernalia. Like
Okay,
you
so
know
you
how
like
people,
a loyalist.
yeah, I don't wear no other jerseys because the color matches. I don't got a bunch of fitteds that got every different team color. I do not wear any team's paraphernalia except the Knicks, the Yankees, and the Giants.
Okay.
That's it. I
Okay.
won't put on nobody else's baseball paraphernalia.
Wow.
Nah.
Okay. I mean, hey, listen,
Mm-mm.
that's sports to sports. Yeah, I don't have, I mean, I'm definitely, happy that, he, hit a milestone. But to your point, I mean, there's a lot of variables that go into it. So there's for me, I'm not debating. You know what I mean? Because my
Yeah.
whole thing was people for the longest time classified Jordan as the greatest, and Kareem's record was right in the face. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things that there's a reason why it wasn't just based on points, and that's not to take nothing away from Braun because I respect him like on and off the court. You know what I mean? Some of the moves he's made is sort of like in
Pros.
sports, but just as far as like what he's done, as an Afro melanated black man, like I gotta salute him. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
No drama, he's with his family. He's doing. For me, that's where it's at. Because once you hang the
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 high school sweetheart, the whole yeah,
yeah, yeah,
it's a beautiful story on and off the
yeah,
court. That's what I'm saying. Definitely.
yeah, yeah. I got to give him his props, bro. I can't take nothing from him. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
yeah, I respect him. But yeah, bro. I don't know if you was checking out. We have a chat where some of the individuals that follow the show actually are in a chat, and there was a lot of dialogue about our guest last week, and the topic, which was Tyree Nichols, and then basically just hitting on compliance, that one word, compliance, and it caused like it caused a stir, man, and yeah, I mean a major stir, bro, and I don't know, I apologize, oh yeah, I apologize to some of the people that were in the chat, but I'm also going to apologize, to everybody that watches us, and like my big cousin Paul, my pops, um, you know, and anybody, I pride myself on definitely being respectful in all situations, but I was a little ramped up last week, just based on just sharing a story that took place with my sons, and really just not, in my opinion, being able to really get across what I was trying to express without like a point being made based on my experience. You know what I mean? So I dropped the F bomb, and that wasn't cool. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't cool. That was actually sort of whack. You know what I mean? So my bad. I'll try not to say it again, but I was a little triggered. You know what I'm saying? In that moment. Plus, it was an emotional topic. You know what I mean? So just wanted to, yeah. You got any more thoughts about last week's show?
You know.
Why you say that, yo? Why you laugh like that? Why you give the whole
Nah. I mean, it was just, I guess you walk away with it like I guess everybody's gonna have their opinion, and like it was made clear that this is how I feel and this is what I stand on. So I mean, you know, I just, I guess if anything, if anything different, I just would have preferred maybe not so much like, yo, your opinion is gonna be whatever your opinion is gonna be, but I just would have wished that maybe you would have watched, like the video was watched more, like taken in more before the opinion was formed. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like,
yeah,
because it may have
right,
affected your opinion.
right,
That's
right,
that's it. But what I mean, like, yo, you know what it is, man. Everybody's gonna see every situation differently for a multitude of reasons. Maybe it's personal feelings about it. Maybe it's personal experiences. I don't know. You know,
Mm.
confirmation bias, as Tempest had spoke about that earlier. Oh yeah, and Tempest, real quick, yeah, they lost by 3. He broke the record. I think with like 10 seconds left in the third quarter, they had a little celebration or whatever, but the Lakers ended up losing by 3. And once again, it cost me my winnings on FanDuel yesterday.
Wow.
Yeah, but it's all good, man. You know.
Nah, it's love, man. You know, we haven't really had a lot of guests that have come on that have been so polarizing. I
Yeah.
mean, maybe like one or two others, maybe one other. Um, you know, and again, you know what I'm saying? Like anybody can come and join sometimes, you know what I'm saying? If it's, you know, and sometimes and voice your opinions and everything else like that. We welcome it, you know. Just a few guys, you know, having a conversation, you know what I mean? On a Wednesday night, last week it was Thursday, you know. But yeah, you know, you know, there were some people that was like, they don't want us to have like that type of energy, you know what I'm saying? You know, on the stage, you know what I mean? Because it can sort of throw the vibe off, you know what I mean? And, you know, but our thing has always been like come and voice your opinion, you know, and that's
Yeah, and I
that's what
mean,
makes it good.
and it's like, you kind of really don't know what that's gonna be. I mean, well, I mean, we could have kind of put it together because it was stated it was gonna be an unpopular one, but
Right.
yeah, but then but yeah, like you said though, you run a thin line of like, yo, so I'm only gonna allow people that's gonna say or feel the same way I do. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's really about. I mean, certain subjects, obviously, what you say can be very harmful to people because they have such strong feelings about it. But
Right.
as long as it's kind of as long as you're respectful. Yo, you know what? Yo, I was laughing to myself.
Can't be loud and wrong.
Earlier today when y'all was when the things were going back inside the group, I was laughing to myself. I said, yo, I should create a meme that said, yo, if if strong and wrong was a person, something like that. I said, yeah, I should have made that
Yo,
joint into a meme.
yo, strong and
Yeah, if
that
strong
would have.
and wrong was a person.
Yeah, yeah, it was, yeah.
But yo, I enjoyed the show though. Anyway, man,
No, no,
I
no, no, no.
enjoyed it
You know,
anyway.
and I welcome
Yeah,
her. Like I don't. I'm not.
yeah,
There's no like malice, nothing like that. I mean, listen, and that's important that people, you know, understand. There was nothing like. There was no malice, anything that came out of it. It was just in the moment. You know what I mean? Like, you know, we're having a real conversation, and you know, sometimes there's real reaction. You know, it's just. It was different. I wouldn't. I'll be better prepared next time if she comes. Um, and I just shut up a little bit more and talk a little bit different, you
yeah.
know.
You see that? Yeah. There you see that. A little bit. I think some documents or something came out today, man, giving you a little bit more insight, even still, of what happened. I think it was the documents that led to their firing, and obviously they
Mhm,
lied in their police reports. But
mhm. I didn't see it. What happened in it?
well, I mean, I guess it was the reports that they had submitted, and then like the internal affairs investigation that actually got them fired. Like what type of departmental policies and different things they were for. But one of them dudes, man, they said, yo, they had him propped up. They took pictures and
Yeah,
was
and sent
sending
them
the
to five
pictures
people. Sort
and
of.
to other officers. So this is what I'm saying. Look, so you beat a suspect and then you take pictures and send it to other officers who weren't there, or I'm assuming who weren't there, so that they can rejoice in the ass whipping you just gave somebody. What does that tell you about the culture of police brutality in the city of Memphis, kid? That joint, that's what I said last week. For you to be damn near rookie cop hired in 2020, 2019. Yo, you're on the force 3, 4 years and you're gonna beat somebody like that comfortably. That culture of brutality must be incredible down there, that someone that new on the job would even feel that comfortable, like beating somebody like that. But you
Yeah,
know,
yeah. But I'm hearing that the police chief. I didn't know she was in Atlanta at one time. You knew that?
hmm
I didn't know that. I was talking to some of my people down there, and they were saying that she had the same type of squad in Atlanta. You knew about something like that?
hmm
Oh, I didn't know
I,
about it.
I didn't know. I didn't know until I read about it. But they was talking about that. I think she got fired down in Atlanta. Didn't she get fired?
Oh, I don't know. I guess we
Yeah,
can
I
look
think she
it up.
got fired.
If anybody can Google or just let us know if the Memphis police chief got fired in Atlanta, please let us know and just throw it in the comments and help us out. All of our wonderful friends of the show, Red Dog Squad. That's what that's what I heard about the other day. That's what it was called, the Red Dog Squad. And yeah, yeah, she was in Durham after Atlanta. Oh, okay. I thought she went from Durham to Atlanta to Memphis, but she went from Atlanta to Memphis. I mean, Atlanta to Durham to Memphis. Yeah, I'm hearing about that, and ultimately, I mean, if she's involved with creating that type of culture, like we said on the other show, she got to go too. You know what I mean? She got to go too. I mean, it's unfortunate, but a lot of
Well, you
good.
know, it definitely comes from the top, kid, because
Right.
one or two things is going on.
Bob said she was fired. I'm listening.
Yeah, yo, because it comes from the top. Because either you have openly sanctioned it, which I can't see. I would hope that you ain't that stupid to say do it or put it on a memo to go do it. But dumbest shit then happened, and but of course it comes from the top because either you're sanctioning it or you're so disconnected
Oh,
from your officers that you don't even know what the hell's going on in your police department.
right.
So either way you gotta go because it's like, yo, this is not a one-time incident. Okay? Like you can tell that this goes on, that they beat their suspects. You know who else beat their suspects? Like I tell you before, the city of Yonkers. They like to send them up to Valhalla, man, with bruises on them and black eyes, man. And you can see it. Like it's just visible. That I know that they gotta be beating these dudes down there and kicking them and doing little things, man. Like this is not their first time. You could see this. I don't think nobody is caught up on thinking whether this is their first time. So if you're talking about where does the buck stop, yo, her head need to be out of there, man.
Oh yeah, she got to
Cause
go.
and then you're gonna start seeing, watch, as you always see with officers, and I'm not saying all of them are substantiated, but what you're gonna see, which is almost always the case, is that there's documented history of this is not their first time of being accused of this. And excuse me, one of the incredible things is that an officer can be accused by 5 different people, 5 different incidents in 5 different years, and they still don't substantiate them, even though all of the victims allege almost the same identical pattern of abuse. Which is, how would I know that he does this? Like this is his shit. He likes to choke people because 5 of us have complained about it, different times, different months, different dates, and we don't know each other, but all of us can describe the same type of pattern of abuse. That should substantiate something, that this is his pattern, this is what he does. But they always find them like unfounded until shit like this happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you could do a better job in the hiring process, even before they
Mm.
even get a gun. But that's what they was going through. They were going through a hearing, a process to become decertified so that they couldn't hold jobs in law enforcement again. That's where some of this information was. It was in these
Wow.
reports for this thing. You
Wow.
know? Yeah, but it's just crazy.
Bro, all I know is like one of my brothers, I ain't gonna say his name, but I could definitely say his situation because he talks about it. But before we
What's
went
up,
to
Chase?
Tracy's up in there. Oh yeah, really quick. John, Kim, Stephanie, Tempest, Pops, Trey, and some of our earlier folk, Regine. Hello, 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 hello. Once again, thank you for joining. But yeah, going back to my bro, he said when he went to Rikers, this was back in like the early 90s, just to take it back. He said when they got into the situation they got into, they didn't know it was an undercover cop. So they're like in a diner, they're eating, minding their business, and he comes in there with his girlfriend. And I don't know what happened as far as the words or whatever happened. He basically just starts hauling off and hitting one of them. You know what I mean? So obviously they beat him up. They beat him up. But in the process of beating him up, I don't know. But they beat him up pretty bad. And it turns out that he was an off-duty policeman. So they were sent to Rikers. My brother said before they even got to Rikers, like when they had him in like the local police station, like upstate New York, because it was a cop, they was all just beating him up. Like, every time he turned, boom, just hitting him, boom. But he said when he got to Rikers, he's like, yo, I've never been assaulted like that. You know what I mean? Like I would have taken what the dudes upstate did. You know what I mean? Then he said his man that went in there with him, that was like sort of like the lead, I guess, as far as that situation, said they stripped him of everything. And he was like, yo, you stay in street clothes when you up there. You know what I mean? Back then, I don't know if it's still the same way, but back then they was wearing their street clothes. He said he didn't see him for a month, bro. He said when he saw him, he didn't even recognize him. He didn't have a haircut. Like they did him dirty. So that always stayed in my mind, just as far as what happens. You know what I mean? And I know I'm two different, it's apples and oranges. One thing is dealing with, a cop that got an undercover cop that just got into a situation and he was white, they black. You know what I mean? And, and then of course, when you look at, I'm sorry, who was the cop? Someone who Devon? No. I didn't know the Trey. I didn't know one of my brothers was upstate New York, and he got into a situation at a diner, and he was there with his friends. They were eating, minding their business, and the cop came in with his girlfriend or wife or whatever, but he was in regular clothes, so nobody knew he was an undercover cop. And then something happened. They started beefing, and dude like hauled off and started beating up one of them, and they jumped him, and some things happened. I'm gonna leave it at that. And they ended up getting beat up quite a few times. In different, they got beat up where they were at, then they got beat up by the cops.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got that dude. I don't know if you heard about it down there, man. They got this dude up here. They just caught him that killed this off-duty cop on that.
What's that about?
It was in Brooklyn. It was off-duty cop, man. I feel bad for the dude too, man. He was a young kid, 26 years old, married with 2 kids. They said they went to go buy like a Honda Pilot off of something like that, Facebook Marketplace or something. So, and they said it was like 24,000. Like, yeah, I just don't even understand that, kid. I'm not going to meet no stranger who thinks I'm coming with 24,000 in cash in Brooklyn, New Rochelle. I'm just not doing that. But everybody does things differently. But yeah, so they said he got there, and guess it's more like a residential spot, like some of them spots in Brooklyn. They got them houses out there, like with the driveways. And I guess he was like, he said he was walking back, and then I read, the brother-in-law, I guess he was telling him, like I read this thing either today or yesterday, where the dude had jokingly said to the off-duty cop and the brother-in-law that they have guns on them, and they was like, nah. And he said like, yo, he yoked the cop up in the headlock and put the gun to his head and was like, yo, give him the money. And when the cop told him he ain't had the money, he shot him. He didn't die immediately, and I guess he fell. The dude took off running, and the brother-in-law took the gun from the cop out his holster and started shooting. But he was able to tell him that he got into a black BMW SUV, and that's how they really caught him. I think that description, because once you know the car, you could start following it through the cameras, and the car turned out to be. Now here's the crazy shit. This dude is 38 years old. Yo, the car, black SUV, was registered to his mom's that lives in Brooklyn. Like, yo, first of all, you're 38 years old and you're robbing people for the $24,000. I understand where, stuff like that happens, but damn, you took your mom's car to do that, kid? And so, but then he was from Harlem, so they found a black SUV abandoned in Harlem on 129th. And they said that's where he lived with the girl and the kids. And he must have went and got the girl and the kids and went up to Rockland County and got bagged in a hotel with the girl and the kids and everything. Like, why did you go? Like, you took your mom's car to do some crazy shit like that. Then you drove it home and got the girl and the kids to go on the run. Like, what the hell are you thinking, kid?
He
You know
wasn't.
what I'm saying?
Bro. He's an idiot.
Nah,
I'm
I ain't falling
with you.
asleep, Trey.
I saw that. I saw
Hey,
that. I was trying to
nah, I
give
ain't
it a
gonna be
little
out for the count. I'm just chilling. I'm a little tired, but I'm all right.
It's been a minute too for you to crash out on the people. So yeah, he wasn't thinking, bro. I mean, bro, like that type of ignorant stuff, bro. Like I don't have nothing for cats like that, man. I don't have nothing for them.
Yeah.
So just it seems like no matter what, man, dummies and to do stupid stuff are born like twice a minute these days. So no, that's just corny.
Oh, it's
You
an
know?
endless supply. I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
definitely
yeah.
an endless supply.
They can have it.
Yeah, but I feel bad. I felt bad, like, because he didn't die
Yeah.
immediately. He died like 2, 3 days later. But I'm like, damn, man, the lady just lost her husband. Kids just
Oh,
lost their father, and all he's trying
right,
to do is go buy a car.
right,
Like,
right,
going to buy a car shouldn't end like this, man. It should not
right,
end like this.
right, right. Yeah, bro.
You know?
I mean, just, sort of summing up, this whole Nichols case. My freshman year of college, man. Like our dorms were on like Hill Street in Raleigh, and like literally, like go down to the end of the street, and make a left, go down like 2 blocks. There was a guy by the name of uh, Ivan Ingram. You know what I mean? So that and if you Google the Ivan Ingram case, what was so crazy about it was um, it was almost the equivalent of what happened to Tamir Rice, what had happened 30 some odd years ago. And what was so gangster was, I mean, they jumped out within 8 seconds. 8 seconds, he got shot with a shotgun and killed.
All right.
So that back then was like some of my earliest thoughts about. I mean, we didn't. I don't think we was using terms like police reform back then, but just like what are they learning or not learning that this can happen. And for a minute, arguably, they were like, "Yo, it was justified." Now, obviously, it wasn't. You know what I mean? And I think there was some like civil cases, and I don't think anybody did time, obviously, but that was all around the time before the Rodney King, and then Rodney King happened and everything, and so you started to basically see a change in the way people were responding to police brutality. But um, that's a good question. What do you do when the protector and the killer are wearing the same uniform?
That's that's the dilemma right there with policing in America, man. Heck yeah. That's the exact dilemma right there. The prosecutor, the prosecutors, the protector, and the executioner. No
Judge,
doubt.
jury, the Curtis, you asking a great question, bro.
Yeah,
And I guess, like Charles said, this is the $1 million dilemma.
that's the answer.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, and then I mean, damn you, some people would give a typical kind of response about, well, you know, that's why we need to get in there and all of this and this and that, which I'm not saying that's not something that needs to happen, but you see, even we was in there. And then, you know, the protector, not only was he also the killer, he looked exactly like us.
Mm,
You know, he was camouflaged, did the work of the opposition,
hmm
camouflaged. You know, so yeah, it's definitely yeah, I mean, but you know the other problem is, man, America don't think they got a problem with policing because you know, so evidently there's somebody up there that think this is exactly how policing is supposed to work because they don't want to do nothing about it. So, you know,
Well,
I
it's
mean,
actually, it's actually,
that's how
in
it
my
that's how
opinion,
it
this is how it was designed. Like this. There's nothing new. Technology is showing us what's been there for a long time. So maybe the argument isn't necessarily, you know, if anybody just thinks it's okay as much as it's just working the way it was designed. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because no matter what, no matter what happens as far as like civilians or regular folk retorting, once you see that like the prisons are no longer filled, they can't justify this stuff the way they used to, with the whole war on drugs and everybody's a crack deal, everybody's moving weight and taking pictures with 40 bricks and
hmm
all of that stuff is done. It's a pill culture now. You know what I mean? So, and I'm not saying that people are not doing stuff, but you don't see the level of violence that you saw behind drugs. And so, they could somewhat justify their actions in the past. Like, well, they're violent, we're violent. They going through South Central LA with tanks. Tanks. Like, I mean, to this minute, I'm like, tanks. Like, what are we doing here? And then going back to what we was talking about last week when the Jump Out boys jumped out when we were shooting the music video. I had to think about that a little bit more. I think what really threw me off was two things. One, normally in New York, if the cops was coming growing up, somebody would give a whoop, or they give a little signal or something. You knew the cops was coming, or you could see them. Wake up, Charles. Wake up. I saw that, Charles. You was having a moment. Tracy's right. Tracy, we
No,
going
I
back.
was saying I was getting ready to say, yo, you
Going
breaking
back.
up.
Huh? You said
It was
what?
breaking up like crazy.
Oh, my joint?
Yeah, at least on my end, it was breaking up like robotic.
That sucks. Um,
My eyes are open though, Trace. My eyes are open.
yeah. All
My
I
eyes are open.
all I know, bro, is like
This is actually eggnog, like an eggnog drink.
some people put liquor in their eggnog.
No, this has liquor in it, but it's like a, but it's eggnog at the end of the day. I buy a
Oh,
bunch of them, man. They're like, yo, I love eggnog. So
eggnog is good with me.
yeah, like the alcohol ones, I'll be buying them and just like stacking them up because they go out of season so that I could have it. You know, but I wish I could. I would drink eggnog year round. I love eggnog.
Eggnog is good, but everybody Trey said, there wasn't no glitch on her end. There probably was. I can't see. Like I got these screens I'm looking at. I don't know, man. Um, but yeah, bro, like when we was coming up, bro, like it was definitely more violence. You know what I'm saying? And to my
Hundred
point, that,
percent.
when that mess happened in Memphis, I mean, bro, those cars pulled up so fast and out of nowhere. And when they jumped out, bro, I'm talking about like literally assault rifles. I'm not talking about no. I'm talking like the joints was hanging. Like if you look at the music video, it's called "Loaded" by Bandana Bonds. You'll see the guns, and we still got like the behind the scene footage. I'm like, look for that. You know what I mean? And yo, there was no fear with none of them, bro. Like they was ready. You hear me?
Yeah,
They
of
was ready.
course.
You know, like ready. Like, and I'm like, thanks for coming out, everybody. God bless. Good night. We up out here. Yeah, we up out here. and Pop said that wasn't no break. That was a nod. Yeah, I saw his eyes going like sort of like, and he talking about his
Oh
eyes.
nah, I'm up. Believe it or not, I don't know how slanted my eyes look, but I am awake.
We thought we was gonna get the old Sleepy Charles up in here.
Yeah, sometimes I'll be tired. Nah, but I'm good though. I'm up. Definitely up.
Yeah, man. Pivoting real quick, man. Did you see that earthquake, man? Did you see that earthquake that hit? Did you see any of the footage for that?
Nah, I ain't really look at it, man. I read a couple of articles, but I didn't actually watch no videos of it though,
Yo,
or anything.
I'm gonna keep it 100 with you, man. Like you saw buildings collapsing, almost like demolitions hit, where people were running. It wasn't even just like 9/11. It was just like buildings, like, and you know, I got people that are playing professional ball over there. You know what I mean? So that's when I first found out because, you know, and you know, like I don't know, bro. I don't
Yeah,
know.
7.8.
Yeah.
That's hefty.
Yeah. 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 Have y'all felt any earthquakes up that way recently? Any of those little tremors? They be happening up there. They be happening down
Yeah,
here too.
I can't even remember the last time I felt like a little earthquake. Shit is crazy to think that even happens. Like the whole earth shake. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, that's
Bro, look at
crazy.
those fault lines in Africa that have shifted.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how the whole continents, you know, were made. You know what I mean? So it's gonna happen, unfortunately. But when I look at like some of these these low lying land masses where the water is starting to come up and stuff, that's what sort of shakes me up a little bit. You know what I mean? You've been to Hawaii, right? I never been to Hawaii. You've been to Hawaii?
Yeah.
So did
Yeah.
you go to Pearl Harbor? Did you look down and see the ship under there? Did you do that?
Nah, because they wouldn't when I went there the water was too choppy. So
Yeah.
they don't let you yeah, and like a dummy. So I was able to see it, but not like actually like take because you take like a little boat to it because it was yeah, they wouldn't let
Oh,
nobody go out on the water.
so
Yeah.
that thing where they have the walking ramp and all that other stuff, you gotta go
Yeah,
from
like the
land.
US
Oh,
Arizona. Yeah, you got it. Yeah, you're like on a
oh,
land and they got like a boat, little boat that crosses to like where I guess the ship is sunk right there or
oh,
whatever. And
yeah.
it's yeah, but if the water's too then they don't let you go on. And I had that scheduled for the last day that I was gonna be there. So I didn't have a chance to even do it again. So I was only able to see it from like the landing part, but not actually from taking like the little boat ride over there.
That's crazy, bro. At some point, I want to make my way out that way. Um,
Yeah.
but I mean, even like the thing is, man, that's like real eerie to me, man. Like that shit being like that, that's eerie to me, bro. And there's a whole bunch of them down. It's not like that's not the only one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you
Yeah,
know.
but it's like, it's a part of history. It's definitely interesting, whenever you see something in real life that you've heard so much about
Hmm.
and and read it or read
Hmm.
about it or, I mean, I think everybody's heard of Pearl Harbor. So,
Hmm.
to actually like have it you know what I'm saying?
I do. I do.
Yeah.
Maybe one of these days, man. Maybe one of these days. Maybe I'll hit
I
Killer
want to
Beach.
go over to Turkey, you know. Yeah.
So was Mike good?
What he said? Yeah, Mike. Oh, sorry about that.
Oh no, we can do
He
one of them.
said, yeah. Yeah, and that's the unfortunate thing is like, you dead. So many people, have those experiences. So it's cultural. It's American culture, man. Any violence in general is just
That's
American.
American. That
Yeah, it's very American. Violence, capitalism, or money, I should say, because most of us live in a capitalist country, but most of us aren't capitalists because we're really just basically the help. You know what I'm saying? With the labor. I mean, keeping it real, like we're not practicing capitalism. We don't own, the means of production, distribution, and we're not setting prices and shit like that. We're just working with a help.
mm,
You know what I mean? Capitalism is being practiced on us. We're not capitalist.
nah,
You
that's
know?
you know,
Yeah.
yeah. Kim, this is how I look at it. You know, most of the trauma that was done to a lot of my people, it's like my friends, it was like done when we were young. Charles sounds like mid sense, most of that stuff was done when we were young. Obviously, you're young, you're sort of in your environment, you're growing up, you're learning. And it's funny because every police interaction that I've ever had that was like crazy or weird or just strange, it's like the only one that really pissed me off, I mean, pissed me off, was when Lil Deb was in New York with me, and we was in the Jets before they tore it down and rebuilt. Hartley Homes. The projects where I grew up, my family grew up, and like one of my cousins was like in the parking lot, and I'm standing there talking to my friends, and the cops blitzed. And so when they blitzed, Dev had never seen nothing like this. So he's 7 years old. So he's sort of like, and I'm calling him like, just chill out, come here, come to me, because he was standing over by one of his uncles, and he gets closer to me, and he's sort of like this, and I'm like, we good, like, what I mean? But how do you tell a 7-year-old that's never seen this? He's watching, my cousin basically get roughed up and thrown on the car and all this other stuff, and they wasn't hurting them. They were doing it. I hate to say it, we're so accustomed to it that it's not. It was, yeah, they threw him on the car, but they didn't shoot him. I hate to say it, like, that's sort of like the way your mind sort of registers it once you see it so much or it's happened to you. And then sure enough, I'm sorry, wait, I tried to put it on there. Okay. Shorten the show. Shorten the show. Stephanie, what? Huh?
Oh boy.
We're gonna, we're gonna come back to this, Stephanie. I had to click it because I was like, dang, I'm talking about shorten the show, Don't talk about that trauma in your childhood. But I'm messing with you, Stephanie.
Oh boy.
Oh shoot, shorten the show. Oh man.
Yeah.
But going back to what happened with my son, and this is the only thing that really like bothered me. A lot of other stuff has bothered me, but it's like you write it off. But when the cops jumped out, what they do is they deal with whoever they're dealing with, and then they walk around and they try to incite with whoever else is there. Whoever else is there.
Exactly.
Now, mind you, I'm talking to my 7-year-old, like he's a little dude. You know what I mean? So I'm not even paying attention to them. I'm just trying to calm him because he's like, oh, what's going on? And it's always the like short cops. I don't know what the hell it is. I used to think it was just lore, but it's always the short cops that come to me because I'm tall and they got the most to say. I don't have nothing to say if you're short, tall, big. I don't have nothing to say to you. We have nothing to discuss. It's no conversation, And then Not Charles, that's why I said. Oh, okay. Okay. This is what Stephanie said. She said she laughed at the comment about Charles. That's why she said, okay, woo, Steph, I'm with you. Because we're not
Yeah,
gonna have a long show tonight. We're not gonna
yeah.
tonight, we're not
But
gonna
I'm up.
but he
I'm
is up.
actually up.
He's saying
I'm
he's up.
actually up though.
He's up. So, thank goodness. Because Steph, we have seen Charles literally in real time do this.
Steph, trust me. If I was tired
Oh,
and falling asleep, it would have happened.
Charles, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
here. Hold on, I'm good. And he'll sip something, and then 2 minutes later, it's the other side.
I'm just relaxed. I'm definitely relaxed. I'm definitely relaxed. I feel relaxed. I feel very, very relaxed and chilling, but I'm 100% awake.
Yeah, I've seen Charles literally. He'll get on the show before we start talking, and Charles will be like, "Hey, fellas, we're not doing an hour and 45 minutes tonight. This is before we get on with y'all." He'll be like, "We're going to stick to an hour and a half, and that's it." And we're like, "Oh, Charles is hurt. He's hurt. There's nowhere else." So we already know, but we never expect him to do. He don't even remove himself from the stream. Like, he could easily just remove himself.
The guy. Nah, I'm actually not. Yo, Steph,
Oh boy.
if I may call you Steph, or I don't know if you prefer it, Stephanie. I am actually not a gummy user. I don't think that those things. I think they're garbage. Actually,
Mm.
I'm not a gummy chewer. Yeah.
I'm gonna close out what I was saying.
I think they're a waste of money.
I'm gonna close out what I was saying about Little Dev, man, because I know I've been all over the place.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, the short cop, he just started talking to me and just saying little things, and I wouldn't respond. And I just kept talking to my son and just whatever, yeah, you all right, little man, like, we good, you know what I'm saying? And it sort of traumatized him, you know what I'm saying? So, I had to explain to him, growing up, like, some of the things that we experienced, and why, like, when they came, it was just like whatever, like, we just whatever, and like I explained to my son, like, somebody earlier, I think John had asked if we had seen Drop Squad. I did. I can't remember the full premise of Drop Squad. I remember watching it a few times back then. But we definitely got some real examples of. We just got some real examples. That's all. I'm gonna leave it at that. Yeah. But question. Well, first off, Pop said, then he'll blame it on a glitch.
The glitch in the matrix.
Curtis, he said, is it a crime if a man kills to protect his own from harm's way? Not legally. Well, pardon me. Is it a crime if a man kills to protect his own from harm's way? Oh, that's not where my brain was at. I had to.
I mean, a lot of times it just becomes very situational, man. It becomes, you would think on the surface the answer to that should be yes. Literally, that's the whole premise of the Second Amendment. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't believe that a man has a right to have a weapon and he may have to kill with that weapon in order to protect himself or his family or his own, you say, then there's really no premise for even the Second Amendment, because that's literally what the whole point of the argument about is, to, like, really be able to protect yourself. But yeah, but then that's the very next question is exactly, it's like, because now it becomes situational, and then it's like, because if you're, especially if you're asking from it, if that question is being asked from a perspective of a legal standing, with the, like, a legal definition of self-defense, or are you looking at it like from a perspective of, like, what do we, like, what do you as an individual have to do to protect yourself and your own, or what you're willing to do to protect your own? If you understand what I'm asking you.
What's really
I'm not sure.
self-defense? Bro, like since I was a little kid, for a lot of the situations, like if I go walking, I have a certain way of having self-defense. If it's daytime, I have a certain way of having self-defense. If I go walking at night, which I still enjoy doing, I don't walk stupid. I mean, I might not have my headsets in and stuff like that, like during the day, like, I'm still aware of everything. Um, yeah, I think that any human, um, rightfully you should protect yourself, and to the best of your ability, and we should protect each other, and I know that gets into a dicey area because depending on the situation, you might jump into a situation and then God forbid you become the target, not realizing that they going through a moment, but now they gonna turn on you. It's just the world can be nuts. But I think anybody you should defend your dwelling, like where you live and you spend your time. If you should defend it, and unapologetically with no, you know, I mean, I don't see why like God would be mad at me if somebody came into my dwelling and I protected my dwelling in real time. I don't see why. I don't see it, and I'm not saying that that's not the case. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, you know, Father, just laws really just show please,
Yeah, it was breaking up.
just generally asking because to me, the law is really just how the police and judge are feeling at any given time.
Yeah, well, I mean, of course,
Back.
because the it's interpretive, That's why, they keep bringing things up to the Supreme Court. All you're trying to do is get somebody to listen to that argument from the way you see it. And, like the law is a lot of times could be very ambiguous. That's what I'm saying. And then like Calvin was just saying, like, self-defense laws vary from state to state, so what you're able to do, what you're not able to do, and the different criteria that even equate to self-defense. So like you can have what seemingly seems like the same identical situation and just little slight alternatives of facts, man, makes one self-defense and one not. Is a lot of times it could definitely seem like that, like it's just being arbitrary at any given moment. Well, today it'll be self-defense is this, and today it's that. You know what I'm saying? But it's it's just crazy. But you know that thinking of self-defense, I'm wondering, have you followed anything with or did you see that interview with Jay Prince and all of them with the takeoff thing?
I saw some of that. Somebody has sent me some clips about it. I watched little clips. I saw a few clips. Yeah, I
Yeah,
saw a few clips, man. That whole situation to me is just, yeah. Yeah. What you're thinking about it?
yeah. Well, I mean, who the hell knows who's telling the truth anytime you listen to that shit? But you know, uh, he tried to explain the like a lot of people was getting on him, like it looked like he stepped over Takeoff's body and he was explaining that people caught a little bit of a clip, like 3 seconds, 4 seconds on a clip, but he was saying that how he was actually inside paying the bill when the shooting happened, that he wasn't there, and he said so the part of the video that people caught him, he was actually with his brother who was right behind him. He was saying that who was there with Quavo when the thing, and he was saying that they went to the bathroom like to wash because he had blood and stuff on him. The brother did, not Jay Prince Jr. The other one, Mike. But then he was saying how after the ambulance, the hospital, that they was with Quavo and them for like 3-4 hours after that. And he was like, yo, he could tell you, like he could vouch for what I'm saying. He said, so all of this stuff people putting out there, like I stepped over the body and we just left him for dead. He was like, yo, we was out there for hours after that was over, man. Like after everything, we was still out there with him. And you know, they gave a little explanation about what happened. They said that they had played like I guess some dudes had played like a 2-on-2 game the day before, and that's where the argument about the basketball came in. And you know, and they was just like, yo, man, you know, and that part you heard was said on the video, but he was saying if you really listen to that video, he was like, yo, the dude he was arguing actually says to Quavo, he was like, says something like, yo, my bad, yo, if you took it that way, like had apologized to him. But I guess, you know, when the word exchange happened, so they trying to say that it was the dudes with Quavo and Takeoff that he the one that swung first. Like, could you see? You remember in the video? I don't know if you saw the video, man. You can't really tell after they stepping out. You couldn't tell who started fighting or who swung, but they were saying his man start his man. They were saying his man swung at the dude that was arguing with Quavo, and he had the gun in his hand, and that's how the other gun ended up getting pulled out on their side type thing. But they basically blaming Quavo man for that because they was like, yo, like, yo, we all here together. He was like, yo, man, like, yo, these dudes come down to Houston all the time. They good, everything. We don't got beef like that. Like, yo, we arguing over a basketball game. Why is your man pulling? Yo, we arguing over a bullshit basketball game from yesterday. Why is your man pulling a gun out? That was like their position, you know. So they saying that none of that would have happened. Like, what was your man doing? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, dudes is arguing over a basketball game, kid. Like, why would you pull a gun out and take it to that level?
Right.
You know, so they was kind of defending themselves against the accusations, kind of like from that standpoint. But like you said, man, you know, at the end of the day, who knows? You know.
You want to hear something crazy, bro? Just to show you just how
Mhm.
much conflict resolution doesn't exist with a lot of the younger generation. Um, like I had to shoot like a Mothers Against Violence in Greensboro.
Mhm.
Shot the photos for them, and unfortunately, two people we know from New Rochelle lost their sons in North Carolina to gun violence. So, you
Mhm.
know, one of the women that was speaking out there that day, she was saying, and actually, sadly, her son was like the last person who had been murdered. They have like a bunch of photos downtown of murder victims, and some of them, unfortunately, are unsolved, some are solved, whatever. So the woman who was speaking about her son, she all she said was it happened at like by a gym, and I knew that gym because I used to play ball over there. I used to play league ball over there. I didn't think no more about it. So I'm talking to my homie yesterday. We was just catching up, you know, been a while. And he was like, yo, do you still play? Blah, 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 blah. I was like, nah, I would like to play some at some point. Just, you know, just ain't there, you know, put on some weight, gotta, you know, just having that type of talk, you know. And he was like, yeah, he was like, yo, bro, one of the last he said he don't play in no gyms no more. Where when we was coming up, it used to get live. Like, you know what I'm saying? When I first came to this area, it used to get live in some of the gyms. He said, anytime they arguing now, he's like, yo, Dev, I see why you got out of that like 15, 20 years ago. I was like, yeah, I got out of it because I'm out here and I'm watching stuff happen in real time. And dudes is like walking off the court and grabbing book bags, and the burners is already in there. I came out here to play a pickup game. Nobody out here is going to the league. You know what I mean? Nobody
Right.
out here is, you know, he told me, he was like, man, the last time I was in Barber Park, man, he was like, yo, I watched him shoot and kill this dude. I was like, what? He ended up telling me the same woman whose photos I shot, he saw in real time when her son got killed. And he was
Mhm.
like, Dev, the reason this kid shot him, it made no sense. He was like, when I say no sense, he said, we were playing, we beat the other team. And the team that lost, they were on it like, yo, we want to play again, shoot for it. They were like, you can't just basically take another team's run. Like, you got to sign the list like everybody else. So the dude that got killed came over to him and said, hey, man, you know, can I just play on your team now? I think they either lost a player and he had to pick up one or whatever. He's like, I don't even want to like play with them. You know what I mean? And he was like, yo, I already picked up my man over here. So he said the young man didn't want to lose his ups. So he's pretty much like, yo, I'm gonna go on and run. And it was on it like, nah, like you gotta shoot for it. He's like, why am I gonna shoot for it when my name is on the list? And he said the dude that shot him was just talking to him, my man, about riding skateboards, how they used to ride skateboards as kids. He said the dude that shot the young man started arguing with whoever the gang leader was. And all he kept saying to him was like, yo, I just want to play right now. And then the dude was like, yo, you ain't getting on the court, whatever. He said, the young man just said, bet, and turned around and started walking away. He said, I just really wish he didn't say bet and turned around and walked away. Because when he said bet, okay, are you going to get something? Is there an issue? Or, and he said all of a sudden, everybody told the other dude don't do it. And he shot this young man, shot him like numerous times. So he was like, yo, it sort of bugged him out. So when you're talking about like that type of stuff, conflict resolution with African-American men and women, but definitely young African-American men, we got to get back to that, man. Like, I don't care who I was beefing with on the court, man. A lot of times, like, I just try to keep it like this. All right, you got it, man. I try, you know what I mean? Because sometimes it's going to get animated, you know what I mean? But I'll get animated. Like, if me, you, and Mike was playing, yeah, we could talk all the junk we want. You know what I'm saying? I know it doesn't mean anything outside of that. It's like love at the end of the day. But just strangers, nah, we ain't doing that. You know what I mean? We're not doing that.
Definitely.
Yeah, man.
That basketball court then led to a lot of problems too.
A whole bunch of problems, man. Yo, bro, listen, man. We had a great talk tonight. We ain't gonna keep the people for much longer, man. Let's definitely shout out everybody that was here with us tonight, including
a little weekly or sometimes bi-weekly check-in with everybody, man.
Yeah, we just checking in. Just checking in.
I don't even know if we really call this a pod, what we call it, but it's just like
we just checking in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a little check-in on everybody.
Kim, Curtis, Pops, Trey, John, Tempest. Let's see who else is up there. Regine. Listen, thank you all for hanging out with us for a little bit.
Thank you.
Tia, thank you. The
fireside chat.
I like that. Is that
Yo, Tempest, you know what? If we was gonna be on longer, man, you know what? I would have liked you to explain exactly the definition, because I if I'm correct, I believe you wrote something about it in the group chat, not on here, about the confirmation. What you called it again? Confirmation bias. What was it called?
Bias. Yeah.
Confirmation bias. Like you were saying, I think that you learned something. They were talking about that in that class. I just wanted to know, even if you could type it real quick, what do they say is their definition of what that is? Confirmation bias.
And we have a 2-minute shutdown for this one. So, I mean, if by chance she can't get it in this thread, maybe she can
if you could get it in, or if you want to type it in the group, whatever. Like,
come back.
Yeah, like what, like in your teachings, like what you was learning, what, how do they define it? Like how we had to go through, like, how do you define critical race theory? That's what I want to see. How do they define confirmation bias?
Yo, man, listen. Great talk at the fireside chat.
Yeah, fireside chat.
Film talk, because it's filming us, which is real talk. And let's close out, bro.
All right. Yo, next time I come down to North Carolina, man, we gotta all get together, right? Mostly everybody's down there, right?
Yeah, but they in New York too. Yeah, a lot of people down here too. She put the post up, peace with things together, though. That's right. Because you can never have peace without separation. Facts. Confirmation bias is when you seek out information that only supports your views and ignore anything else that didn't. And we so short. So confirmation bias.
So shoot, that's a better meme. If confirmation bias was a person.
Peace. I didn't know wisdom was here. Oh, bro, you called it right off the gate. Listen, much
Yeah,
love
but
to you all.
everybody down there, man. I gotta see when I'm gonna shoot down to North Carolina again, man. I gotta come see my
Family got it.
cousins.
Come on, man. We get everybody out. Go
Nah, you
nice.
know what? My
Come
cousins, I
Come
think I
on.
think my cousins, I told you know I got a cousin that live in Greensboro, and one that live in Raleigh, one that
That's right.
live in High Point, one
That's
that
right.
live in
We only got 30 more seconds.
yeah,
Bro,
one
we
of
know
them.
your
I can't
family's
remember
here.
the other season.
I'm just waiting for you to either
We
buy
gonna
your
make
own
it.
here or down in the
I'm gonna
down.
make it down there before the summer,
So,
man. Before
all right,
May, March or
all right.
April sometime. The end of March, April sometime. I'm gonna make it down there probably.
Much love and respect, everybody. We up out of here.